welcome everyone. Thank you
for
all for
having us.
watching, and thank you. Welcome, Mike and Saulius, thank you for joining us. And
hey.
I'm happy to welcome you both to our Q&A as we close out the festival. Tomorrow will be our final day of the Rhode Island International Film Festival, and we're happy to welcome M.Saburov, who directed Bound, a short film we have in the festival, and Saulius Lukosevicius here to talk about Bound and Unfolded, which are both films that he shot that we have in the festival. And he's also the winner of our grand prize for Best Cinematographer as well. So welcome you both. Let's first talk about Bound in general. How did we come up with this? How did this film project came about?
So it was, we both are in American Film Institute. We're graduating this year. And it pretty much started as an assignment that Saulius had, because cinematographers have to do this project. They're called MOSs, because they're supposed to have no dialogue. It should be a story told purely visually, shot on 35 millimeter film. And but the story itself is Saulius's personal story. So I think he will be a better guide through the story there.
Yeah, actually, you know, when I was a kid, maybe 6-7 years old, I was playing hide and seek in Lithuania in my grandmother's village. And I decided to hide in an old fridge that was not working, and it had like huge handle that you can lock yourself in. And that's what I did. I locked myself in, and I almost died because I was just out of the breath. You know, I got lucky in my life that I was rescued. So time to time in my life, I was always thinking about this thing. And when the opportunity came to me in American Film Institute to do this short, I thought, that's a great story to tell. I need to tell this. And then I asked Mike to jump on board, and we co-wrote and directed this short and helped to make it possible.
Yeah, for me, what really grabbed me in the short, besides being good friends with Saulius and great collaborators, it was really for me it was about this first time when you meet death as a child, and everyone has that day, that moment when you suddenly realize, oh, I'm not invincible. It's like the world is not really about me. Anything can happen at any moment. And I thought that his story is, for me, was so much about that moment that I thought, okay, that's what we should build it around, because everyone can connect to that, because that happens to every single person on the planet.
Incredible. And tell us a little bit about just how you collaborated, how you both worked together to make this film, like in terms of because it's all visual. This film is very visual in terms of how it's portrayed.
Yeah, I can start, and Mike, you can jump in maybe. Mm-hmm. So as I started to work on this short, I started gathering my crew, because I was initiator of the project. I asked producers like Laura Rocha and Zanya Kalnina to jump on this project, and we started to make this thing happen. And I really wanted to give some Lithuanian identity to this short, because it was really important to me. So I asked my good friend, Lithuanian actor Mantas Volunteers, to do the adult part. As well, Lithuanian kids from Lithuanian Los Angeles community, we took them on board to act. Another Lithuanian person like Vytas Narutis, he donated the fridge. So, everybody was just helping to make this happen. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. And Mike, you can add things.
Yeah, I mean, our first goal was always to tell the story visually. I mean, that's sort of a requirement, even from the assignment part, from the school's part. But even I think that we share that with Saulius, as the sensibilities. We're both from sort of post-Soviet nations. He's from Lithuania, I'm from Russia. So there's like inherent cultural common ground that we share. And but having the training from the US, I've been in the US for 7 years now. I did my bachelor's and master's here. Saulius only did master's here. We thought that's a great way to sort of combine the two, to combine the European sensibilities, the European kind of cinematic structure, with a little more active plot, a little more active dramaturgy that pretty much US filmmaking is all about. So for us was really finding that balance, and we don't really like. Again, we've worked together before, and I think we have some sort of synergy that really goes on there. So it's really not like it is pure collaboration. You don't even need to say some things, like you know them. You just find the best way that you can work it out. If it's a shot, if it's a blocking, if it's location, whatever the question might be, we're pretty much always on the same page. So it's all about really pure creativity and solving problems, as it usually is in film.
And one thing I want to mention, we shot this thing like the weekend before all the productions got shut down in Los Angeles. If one more day we weren't able to finish this film, you know, it was literally the same weekend, and the next day everything was shut down, you know. So I got lucky so much.
Yeah. And the light's so important in this. Was this shot golden hour or around there? Or I'm just curious in terms of timing. No?
Because the budget was really tiny, because as I mentioned before, it was going from my own pocket, as it's my initiated project. It was micro budget. So I was going more for the natural approach. Yeah. That's why many like exterior locations and just some like the fridge and garage use some lights. And some moments, yeah, I think so. Maybe on the road, it was magic hour, maybe.
Right. Yeah. But like it's so economical. It's so you have the film about dealing with this event, but then you also have the present day narrative as well. And was your thought always to have it be this like articulate in such a small space? Was that your original plan, to have a film of this length?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we always thought that this iteration of the story should be very concise. It really has to deliver one moment. Like in 4 minutes, you only have to get one moment, right? But building up to that, that's the important part. And yeah, we always thought, okay, again, from practical concerns and from creative concerns too, we're gonna go very local. It's pretty much one location, plus the fridge that we can count as it, because it was a build when we are inside the fridge, when the boy is inside the fridge. Yeah, and then we just pretty much created a set of rules of, okay, how do we shoot present day? How do we shoot the past? And no matter what happens, no matter what changes, we always have those like almost dogmatic rules that, okay, that's how the film, that's the visual language of the film, that's how we communicate. And yeah, but pretty much one of the things was to find this balance between our adult actor and our child actor, because our adult is from Lithuania, but child actor Garrison Machado, he's from the States. So how do we sort of build that connection that you believe that it's the same person, even though they have completely different cultures and backgrounds? But I think they did really well, and I think they really connected, even in that short time that we had to really portray the same experience.
Yeah, it was two days of shooting, and we plan everything so precisely because it's film and you don't have material to waste. And I think maybe we haven't used maybe only a couple of shots. Everything else is just exactly how we planned, so this shot was really planned, and it went by the plan, I guess. Yeah.
Great. And for when we look at all the work you've shot, Saulius, we see these visual narratives at play. And can you tell us a little bit about Unfolded as well, Saulius? How about your steps to, because that also, just as Bound is in a way, this narrative we see play out in front of the camera. Unfolded has that same. It's a meditative film on not only just this one woman, but also the city and her surroundings. And why don't you give us a little bit of background about your collaboration with Cristina on this film?
Yeah, so first of all, I really want to thank to the festival, like for giving this opportunity to be awarded as the best cinematography for this film. It's really important for me, stepping my first steps in this world, especially in the United States, I guess. So this film was produced by Italian company, Redibis film, Daniele De Chico and Daniele De Segre, and Lithuanian Film Center as well supported as the co-production, Lukas Trimonis. And that's how this film started to be happening. And Cristina Picchi invited me to shoot, and it was shot in Italy, in Turin. I was there maybe prepping 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks before the shoot. And then Lithuanian crew arrived, and we did maybe a week of shooting. Of course, I was there like maybe a year before for location scouts. This project took some time to be premiered, you know. And it wasn't like big budget. No, not at all. It was kind of small budget as well. That's why I took approach like using some natural light and just augmenting the reality. And it was very small crew. And yeah, it was great experience for myself shooting abroad. Like narrative film, and with Cristina Picchi, I mean, it was her first narrative short, and recently it was premiered in Italian Oscars as the best short, which was great. And it was great experience. I love the actors that I was working with, and my gaffer Giedrius Bukaitis. I was so happy bringing my Lithuanian crew, like maybe 4 people, from there. And shoot this kind of run and go a little bit style film. And with Cristina, I met her like 2013 in like deep Russia, traveling by train in Siberia. It's like -30, I guess it was there. Jumping into Baikal Lake, you know, it was like project called Cinetrain. The film was called Zima, that ended up in European Film Awards, another 250 festivals. And that was our start of collaboration. And since then, we've been like very strong collaborators. We support each other, and I am really glad that we are able to make this short with Cristina as well as continuation of our job.
Wow. So it's so tell me, with both films, what's your process, Saulius, with storyboarding? How are you prepping these shots in advance, out of curiosity, or just for those that are looking into, getting into cinematography and what have you?
Yeah, personally, I like to prep as much as I can, like using Artemis. Like now I really use Artemis a lot, just walking around with the phone and trying to find framings, compositions. Before that, I used a lot just storyboarding myself with paper. Now I do a lot overheads. But it's always now like literally together with the director. It's really hard to do it on your own, because you can have your own vision, and then it might be different from what the director is thinking. So it's really good to do this process together. I think it's super important because it can help you as well to get new ideas. So doing together, I think that's the perfect match. But it's not always like this. Some directors doesn't want to do any storyboards. Yeah. And here is Cristina. Hey, Cristina.
Hello.
Hi, Cristina. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, sorry, I managed to join you like in a total rush and just back. So.
It's okay.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your film with us. We loved Unfolded with Rhode Island, and it's always great to see your work. So.
And thank you. Yeah, I mean, like. I wish I'll be able to visit you in person one of these days, because I think all my films have been there, but I haven't.
We'll get you here one day, for sure.
That would really be lovely.
Well, now that you're here, Cristina, why don't you talk a little bit about your side of the project and putting together this incredible film, and what led you to creating Unfolded?
Sorry?
How this project got started? What gave you the idea for Unfolded?
Unfolded was, before being a short film, was actually a short story.
Okay.
I wrote it many years ago, and I remember when I wrote it, somebody told me, "Oh, that will make a good short film. Can I shoot it?" And I was like, "No, I mean, I don't want it to be out there until it's published." And then I put it in a drawer, and it stayed there for years, really. And I started to make films later on. I started off with documentaries, some of which were there in your festival. And yeah, so I mean, like when the time came to, you know, I had the curiosity of moving into fiction as well. I never really thought about myself as necessarily a documentary filmmaker, rather as a, you know, film enthusiast. So I've started off with documentary, but then I moved into video installation and fiction as well. And the story came back to my mind, and I reread it, and I thought it actually really made a good film, but it needed some adjustments, because of course writing gives you some freedom into the stream of consciousness of the character, and also in the transition between writing and making films, I became the more and more fond of visuals, and I mean, not the less, but like, I think I became very minimalistic when it comes to language. So it was all about trying to transpose that kind of feeling into images, rather than relying on the internal dialogue of the character. And that's why, I mean, we worked a lot on the visual, on the mood, on the tone of the film. And I'm so happy and so proud of Saulius for these awards, because we really worked a lot on trying to convey the inner thoughts of and the feelings of this journey of the character, with minimal setup and minimal words and minimal intervention, and working all with the atmospheres and with, I mean, the actress Silvia Lorenzo was really amazing as well in conveying all of these feelings with her expression and not with the words. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole journey of the creation, from short stories to short film.
Wow. How long did this film take to make?
It was surprisingly a long journey to get to make it, because we started, I started developing it in 2014, and then we actually got to shoot it in 2017. And initially I was living in London, so I initially set it up in London, and then the producer that were from Torino, they because I wanted this gloomy atmosphere, and I wanted this, you know, the landscape, kind of trying to bring forward the exploration that I made with the documentaries. So having landscape as a character as well. So I wanted this gloomy atmosphere to speak about the emotions of the character. And the producers were like, we promise you, Torino, in the north of Italy, it can be as gloomy as London. Come over. We'll show you how bad it can be. And I remember first time they invited me there, the sun was bright. It's just like, it's like, oh, we promise you, it's really weird. Autumn here, it's awful. But then in the end, we got to shoot it in autumn 2017. So, and then it was, you know, the whole process of like editing. And so it was slow, and it developed over time. And because we were all working on different projects as well. But yeah, and we tried to create a co-production so that we could bring Saulius and all the camera department from Lithuania and have them on the Italian shoot. So yeah, it was a slow process, but it's actually, I think it was good, because it really helped me in trying to plunge into this new universe. So for me, it was like, I have to say, it was a great learning process as well. I think I really got to know how I want to move in which direction I want to move in my fiction strand, let's say.
And so this is your first fiction film.
Yeah.
So tell us how was that transition? And I know your documentaries have always been very narrative in terms of their.
Yeah, I think like I didn't find it. I mean, the only thing that really worried me was that I remember when we were in the first production meetings, everybody was like, oh, it's going to be a small crew. We're going to be around, 20, 25 people. So I was like, whoa. I mean, are you all going to be around me? Really? Because I was like the self-reliant documentary filmmaker. Because like in Zima, we were just myself, Saulius, the sound recordist and sound designer Henri, and then our translator Katja, and there was 4 of us. And in Champ de Possible, I was basically on my own. It was just myself with my camera and like cold place and recording everything. It was just like a one-man band. So I remember being really intimidated about having people around looking at me while I was working, but actually I understood while I was working on this film how, you know, fiction filmmakers are always so enthusiastic about shooting because you have a whole bunch of people helping you. And it was actually pretty revealing and very I don't know. I mean, of course, there's tension still. There's like, you know, you strive to do your best, but at the same time, I guess we were a really nice crew as well. I mean, I made friends with most of the people we work with. We talk, and I mean, beyond the film. So I think it was a really, really nice atmosphere as well. But it was I was really enthusiastic of having, you know, this collaborative. I wasn't there on my own in hostile environment trying to get what I was looking for, but there was a whole, you know, bunch of people trying to help me. And I guess stylistically speaking and visually speaking, since we had a long time in the development, I think I had time to actually look for a way to create this like smooth transition between fiction and I never really thought about my documentaries. There was an element of fiction, I would say, in the editing. Not everything was real, but like in the way the narrative is then composed in the editing, there is an element of intervention. And on the other hand, I was trying to put some, if not reality, at least I was trying to bring the city into the film and trying to look for the right spots of the city so that you would have like a pretty suspended, like trying to get away from the postcard shots, but like looking for angles that would be more revealing of the emotions of the character. So I would say it was smooth. It was beautiful. I'm looking forward to do more.
Well, we look forward to seeing more too. So do you have ideas for future projects?
Yes, Saulius and I are working on a documentary, film documentary, which is, again, this film as well is in the making since quite a while, and we were actually meant to start close the development in the springtime and get into production this summer, but of course,
I know.
Yeah, you know, things got a bit different, but yeah, I mean, like, we're very hopeful that we'll get going soon. And it's a creative documentary which starts again like the other films. It starts from a concept more than on one single story. It's an exploration. It's actually pretty timely as well, unwantedly. It's an exploration of the apocalypse and the sense of doom in different communities and different angles of the world. And I'm actually exploring one part. We went last year researching in Indonesia on flanks of active volcanoes, and we were supposed to go back this year and to go in north of Quebec and maybe Siberia again. And so it's still in the making, but yeah, it's receiving already support, and we hope that in spite of all, you know, whatever is going on, things will start again. And then I'm writing a fiction feature film slowly.
Great. Well, wonderful.
Yeah.
And Mike, tell us a little bit about some projects that you or where you see yourself going next with your next project.
Yeah, well, my thesis film is actually, I'm finishing my thesis film this week. Actually, it's let's say it's finished, and then we'll start festival circuit, you know, this year. So it's very different from Bound in terms of approach. Saulius did a different thesis, so we didn't collaborate on this one. It's like a sci-fi drama about a woman who finds an alien who cannot experience emotions. and she tries to teach it what it is to love, but finds out that she doesn't know herself. That's sort of the story of my thesis. And then we hopefully will get another short film with Saulius to collaborate on in the spring. It's very much up in the air, but we did have an idea, and then we'll see if it comes to fruition or not. And otherwise, yeah, I'm writing a lot. I've been writing before. I would say it's probably like 1/3 of what I do is directing, and 2/3 is probably writing in terms of how much work it gives me. But I'm finishing my second feature that this year, writing, and I've working on a TV show. So I'm trying to to get the transition into the longer formats.
Great. In terms of like with since you're both getting into that transition, is there any words of advice you have for filmmakers that are doing that transition as well, like going from short form to long form? If you want, Cristina, yeah, go ahead. I know you're still writing it, but yeah, please, yeah.
It's a very, very, very difficult question. So I was hoping he would start first.
Okay.
So I was like,
No, you just look like you had something to say. I'm like,
I thought you were about to say something.
yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm too early in the process to give any advice on anything, really. But I think it is important to say that shorts and features are very different in approach, even when you write them, even the dramaturgical structure of it. And shorts is almost its own beast. It's the ability to tell a story in such a short form that still gives the audience an experience and gives something to think about. That's its own art, and it's really, really hard. And I was very impressed with you guys' lineup, because there's so many great shorts, and it's incredibly hard to do a good short. Not that it's easy to do a feature, but yeah. So I guess my thinking process here is it's just find the personal connection. If it's a short, if it's a feature, that's still very important. And yeah, it's really about, if the short is about one moment, maybe 2 moments, right? If it's a longer one. Feature is maybe about 5. And I think that's very important to keep in mind, either you write it or when you approach doing it. It's that it's really about the key scenes. It's really about those key moments that you need to deliver. And everything else just has to be up to the standard, sure. But those 5 scenes, that's what make an experience. And I think the soonest you understand that when you develop, when you write, the easier it will be for you to know, okay, this is what I need to concentrate on, and this maybe I just need to, deliver the experience, but not more than that.
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. 5 moments. Yeah, I mean, that makes it not simpler, but it just makes it like a less daunting.
It's very.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Cristina?
I would say, like, it's very reassuring. Like, it's a very reassuring advice.
I think so
one.
too. Yeah.
For me, I think it's really hard to give an advice for someone else, because I think I need an advice as well. Because tomorrow is gonna be 2 years since I moved to US, to Los Angeles, because I'm about to graduate AFI. And before that, I was like in the industry 8 years, working a lot in the documentary world. And like in different countries, these crazy projects, like it's like Kyrgyzstan climbing mountains, or like active volcanoes, or Australia following the guy who is flying around the world with a balloon, So I will keep continuing doing those great documentary projects, I think. But the main purpose was for me moving to the Los Angeles to find a bigger industry, bigger audience, because I felt like narrative, that's where I need to concentrate more right now. But being here and studying this thing, I felt like documentary is in me, I cannot let it go, this part. And it's just something some things I cannot let it go. I just love being with those crazy projects and those crazy people. And I think it's just in me, and I will continue making them. And just at the moment, I see myself being here, but shooting internationally, just as I did before. Yeah, so I'm just gonna advise, keep looking for great collaborators and continue them, keep them together, you know, it's very important.
And just to go branch off of that, Saulius, what are your thoughts on with documentaries? Is there something special about filming the moment as it's happening, like the capturing the now, I guess?
Oh man, you can't imagine. It's very hard to describe because this is like tiny crew. It's like your director, sound guy or girl, and it's just you and you feeling that moment, you know. When we were like climbing the active volcanoes, we were participating in this sacrifice ceremony where people were sacrificing water buffalo. So it was so magical, the whole ceremony, people at night with all those torches. And it's hard to explain because emotional satisfaction that you are getting, that's the highest level, you know, of filmmaking. I felt like you need to continue trying to catch those feelings.
Yeah, there's always something almost transcendent with filmmaking, whether it's fiction or fact documentary. Capturing that, if it's that one scene that you can never redo again in fiction filmmaking, it's that, I feel like you get that same high, like that just you're really just that almost transcendent moment of what makes it all magic. So I just I want to thank you all for being part of this Q&A. Cristina, do you have any last words for about like just working with Saulius and or your for projects in general? We want to congratulate you on the Italian Oscar recognition as well.
But like, yeah, we were nominated, and it was like it was a big satisfaction because I always worked internationally as well. So it was nice to make a film in Italy for this time and to get some recognition there. It was a new thing, and it was really beautiful. It was unexpected. No, I mean, like I just want to thank you all. Really, I wanted to thank you since even before this award. I wanted to thank you for. I wrote you an email actually to thank you for picking up our last project and all the previous ones, because it's nice when you get that relationship with the festival and you get to show your work and also to see, you know, the evolution. You get a sense of continuity, which is very hard to get in this industry. And also, I mean, I want to thank Saulius because he is the best collaborator ever, and we've been through a lot of crazy adventures for sure. And I understand what he says about, you know, documentary, and although I myself want to do more fiction, I can't let go of that documentary side of myself, because it's all about the experience, really. It's about, like, of course it's very stressful, but at the same time, when you go back, you have the feeling you lived many different lives, just a glimpse on different existence, and you were part of it, and it's precious. It's not just about the whole thing. It's not about the final product, you know. It's such a long process that you get to see and to live many experiences in the process that it's very fulfilling. It's so I agree with him, and I'm pretty sure we'll soon as this madness is a little bit more under control, we get to do more of that. And yeah, I mean, thank you so much, and thank you for this invitation, and I'm glad I could join, even if for the last part, and and congratulations to all you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Cristina, and Saulius and Mike. Congratulations to all of you for making great work and work that we recognize all the time, because we always, you know, we're always happy and excited to see more work from you, and we're looking forward to seeing what you make next. I can't wait. So just keep doing what you're doing, you know. Despite this pandemic, we'll pull through, and we'll I feel like we'll even have a more strong and talented work coming forward afterwards, because everyone's gonna, you know, be ready to move forward with their projects. And I feel like they'll be percolating for some time at this point, so they'll be even better, you know what I mean? So that's what my hope is, at least.
Nice. Some good energy. We need
Exactly,
that.
right? Well, have a
Okay.
great day, everyone, and safe travels, Cristina.
Thank you.
And we'll talk. We'll see everyone later. And I just want to encourage everyone to watch Bound and Unfolded. They're both up online this week, so please check them out. And we look forward to seeing great work from all three of these artists. So
Thank you so much.
take care.
Thank you. Bye.